I think we're processing about $150 billion of money.
Every
year.
Every year. So if I assume that you guys make a 1% cut, that's $1.5 billion in revenue.
So I had a sports car. You'd go on a lot of trips, a lot of vacations. On the professional front, I wasn't satisfied. I think they were very worried because my father explicitly asked me, how much will you earn? And I said, so he was very concerned. He said, the typical father, beta, sahi nahi lag raha hai. I have a goal that I want to create 1,000 millionaires from Razorpay. So there was this one time where we went to Europe, to Prague and Budapest, and we did a bunch of activities there. We rode in a tank, we flew in a fighter jet, and we experienced 4G, 5G in the jet.
You can pay for all these things.
You can, yeah.
As an entrepreneur who is running a $7.5 billion company, what is the hardest part of being you?
In today's episode of the 1% Club show, we have Shashank Kumar, MD and co-founder of Razorpay, one of the leading payment gateways in India. We'll be taking a closer look at why he left a 1 crore salary job in US to start Razorpay, his mission of making 10,000 employees into Crorepatis via his IPO, and the unique skills you need to become a successful entrepreneur.
I'm curious to know what does a day in your life look like?
So usually my days start at about 10 a.m.
Okay. And then you just have meetings throughout the day, or do you still code? Like, how do you look at your day?
So I usually split it into, I would say it's like 3 different parts. As I said, like one is talking to customers, right? So just to, talking to people outside the company in some sense, right? Second is talking to everyone internally. So all kind of reviews or kind of strategy meetings or kind of execution meetings or, all kind of numbers meetings. So all that variety. And that's often the bulk of the day, right? Because at this point of the company, right, my main job is to ensure that all the people are well focused, like they have the right goals, and they are focused on their goals, and that we have the right people, right? So that's the third part of the day, I would say, is just focusing on what I like to think, the culture of the company, the people of the company, whether we are doing right by our people, whether we have the right people in the right place, just focusing on hiring and all the other stuff, all the miscellaneous stuff that comes with running the company, a lot of administrative stuff as well, man. So
how big is how many employees are there right now at Razorpay?
About 3,000.
And how many people do you talk to on a regular basis out of those 3,000?
Probably 300 to 400.
You talk to 300, 400 people?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So for the purpose of the audience, can you simplify what exactly does Razorpay do? Like before Razorpay, how was payments in India? And then once you guys launched your company, what changes and impact did you guys create in the country?
So again, this is when I was 23 years old. So I thought with my co-founder Harshal.
You were 23?
Yeah.
When you started the company?
Yeah. My co-founder Harshal was 22. So,
okay.
And I was very naive, but I think naivety, good optimistic naivety is a strength, right? So I thought, you're moving money from point A to point B. Literally, that is what you're doing, right? You're moving it from account A to account B.
Correct.
Why the heck is it so complex?
Right.
Why can't you sign up? Like you sign up on a Facebook and start accepting payments. That's how simple it should be, right? And I saw it as a technical problem that, there's nothing too complex about it. Like it's a simple engineering problem. You should be able to integrate one line of code and you should be able to go live and accept payments, right? So that's the journey that at least Razorpay has enabled. And then we created really beautiful checkout pages, really amazing mobile payments experience. And that created the standard in the industry, right?
So can you talk about a little bit about the numbers, like how much of payments and transactions are happening through Razorpay today, if you can disclose it?
I think we're processing about $150 billion of throughput of money.
Every
year.
Every year, $150 billion.
$150 billion, which is probably equivalent to some of the mid-sized banks in the country. And we also power about 3 billion transactions.
Okay.
And
you guys how do you guys make money?
The way we make money is usually that we take a cut of every transaction, a small cut of every transaction, right? And all the services that we provide, that's the main source of our income.
So if I assume that you guys make a 1% cut, That's $1.5 billion in revenue, right?
Yeah, like somewhere in that range, right? But at the same time, we also have to pay a lot of banks and everyone who are providing that infrastructure.
Of course,
right?
of course.
So there's a lot of cost also that comes baked into that.
So you also went to IIT Roorkee, right?
Yeah.
And we see a lot of successful unicorn founders belonging to these IITs. What do you think that the IITs have that it's producing these kind of entrepreneurs who are building unicorn companies?
I would say two things. I think the biggest thing is just the entrance exam.
What was your rank?
686.
686.
Yeah.
And were you happy or sad about it?
I was extremely happy because I've not been great at academics in that sense.
It's very surprising to hear when you get a 686 rank on All India 686 rank. So that's number one. The entrance exam is very hard in IIT.
Yes.
What happens after that?
Yeah. And then I think when you go to IIT, I think the great thing is that you get a very good set of people around you. We started a campus group called SDS Labs. So me and my co-founder and my senior Shobit Singh. So we started this.
Oh, you met your co-founder in IIT only?
Yeah. And he was 1 year junior to me. So we started this group called SDS Labs, mostly to encourage, programming and doing some good technical work because, the academics is fairly outdated and also not like as industry friendly at the start.
You're saying even the academics at IIT is a little outdated, not as per industry standards.
Yeah, like there's definitely scope for improvement. So that environment of being with smart people and doing really good work, I think that has a very positive impact on a lot of people. And I think that's what is lacking, in quite a few colleges.
So immediately after IIT, you went to US, right?
To Microsoft.
Microsoft.
Yeah.
Like what was your pay over there? What was your salary at Microsoft?
I think close to about 1 crore.
1 crore?
Yeah.
You did that just for 2 years?
About 2 years, yeah.
And then somebody making 1 crore living in the US in Microsoft.
Yeah.
Like very few people would be like, you know what? Let's stop this and go back to India and build something else. What was going through your mind at that point of time? Like, why did you do that? Like, did some of your friends or parents were like, what are you doing? Why are you coming back? You're making 1 crore over there. What's wrong with you? Did you hear these kind of comments?
Yeah, absolutely. All of that stuff, man. I think they were very worried because my father explicitly asked me, how much will you earn? Right? And I said 0. So he was very concerned. He said, the typical father voice, beta, sahi nahi lag raha hai. Ye kya kar rahe ho, right? I mean, you worked so hard to get there and then you are throwing all of it away. Ye sab kuch chhod karke, matlab yahan par aa karke.
From 1 crore per annum to 0.
To 0.
Of course, the dad will be like, what the hell, man?
What the hell? So, see, the good thing about my father is that he trusts me. And I'll tell you, I think in there, right, I actually had an amazing life. For the first time, I was earning like really decent money. Right?
Fantastic, I would say.
Fantastic money. And I am someone who has worked hard throughout my life. So I actually started enjoying my life. Someone convinced me to buy a Ford Mustang for the first time. So I had a sports car. We would go on a lot of trips, a lot of vacations. The reason that it happened, right, is that on the professional front, the work that I was doing, I think it was good. Like Microsoft, is a great company, but I wasn't satisfied. I think that's the core reason that, I wasn't satisfied. And I felt like the work that I'm doing, this can be done by most people. Most engineers can do this. It doesn't, like, if I think I'm in the top 1% or 0.1% engineers of India who is IIT educated and everything, right? I mean, then it doesn't justify my potential.
Correct.
And if I'm not doing really good work, which is challenging to me, then I don't feel happy.
Fantastic. So now let's fast forward to today. Razorpay is valued at $7 billion.
7.5.
$7.5 billion. Yeah. So, and you guys are about to go IPO as well, right? Very soon?
Not very soon. Still like 2-3 years away.
2-3 years away.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to know how have the other employees in your company gained from the growth of Razorpay? Because we all know that one of the best ways to grow wealth is through ESOPs in today's world.
Yeah.
Like if you don't want to take the risk of starting your own company, fair enough.
Yeah.
Find other startups where there is a fantastic founder, fantastic entrepreneur.
Yes.
Start them in the early join their journey in the early stage.
Yes.
And get good ESOPs.
Yeah.
So can you share some stories about how your early employees have made wealth at Razorpay?
Yeah, I think all the early folks who joined us, and they really took a bet on us, right? Because they left their jobs to join us at lesser salaries, sacrificed their career growth for 2-3 years, and that was a blind trust.
Correct.
Because they thought like we are doing something good, and this is 2014, right? So it's not like startups were like extremely popular.
Yeah.
That time. So they got well rewarded with ESOPs, and we have had 4 buybacks till now.
So basically, let's say I'm an employee in your company. Let's say I have some ESOPs.
Mm-hmm.
Now, typically in most startups, I would have to wait till you become IPO to liquidate.
Yes.
But you have gotten other investors who are willing to buy those stocks from me, and I'm getting the liquidity.
Yes, exactly. And we have done that 4 times.
Okay. So can you give an example of how much money would some of your early employees would have made?
They would have made tens of crores.
Tens of crores?
Yeah.
Employees?
Yeah.
Got it. And that probably, of course, makes you feel happy seeing them also become millionaires.
Absolutely.
I think that's the bigger joy, right? Than seeing...
That's the bigger joy. And I'll tell you what, I have a goal that I want to create 1,000 millionaires from Razorpay. Probably 10,000 people, who are Crorepatis in the lifetime of the company. That's my goal, for our people.
So how big do you think Razorpay can get? Because right now you're not just clearly operating in India, you're also going outside India. Mm-hmm. So this has a potential of becoming a global company as well. So how big do you think it can get in terms of market cap?
I think I want to aim for creating a $100 billion company.
$100 billion company.
Yeah. And I don't want to think in generations. Like obviously, you want to create a company which is long lasting.
Yeah.
But I worry about the here and now, right? And the next 10 years that we do something that puts India on the map, right?
Yeah.
That puts India's entrepreneurs, India's people on the map. So if we are able to do that, in India and in other emerging economies around the world, I think we can be $100 billion plus.
And to reach that kind of a mark, like how big should the revenue become of the company to reach $100 billion valuation? Like I'm trying to understand how valuation works.
Probably $10 billion plus revenue at some point of time. So
today, if I had to look at your sources of income, can you give me a breakdown of what your sources of income look like?
I think there are majorly 2 sources of income. One is through the salary that I make, and second is through all the passive investments that I have made. Right, that's it.
Like what do you mean by passive investments?
I'm really passionate about startups.
Yeah.
So I invest in a lot of startups. I haven't talked about it a lot, but I've invested in about 100 plus startups.
Wow. What is your asset allocation? Like how much % of the money is in startups?
I would say probably 30 to 40%.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Like what can somebody, like for people who are watching, what can someone expect when you start investing in startups in terms of the CAGR returns?
I would say don't invest in startups unless you know what you are doing. Because you can expect anywhere from 0% to like 25-30% CAGR. Right? Any kind of, if you are at 25-30%, then it's extremely healthy over a 5 to 10 year period. But it can very well be like 5-6% as well. So that is why you should only invest in startups if you are willing to lose your capital.
So can you walk me through your journey of raising money?
So see, the most important funding rounds for companies are, I think, seed and Series A and probably Series B. Like because if you reach there, then you're already like in top 10% of the startups.
If you get Series A?
Across the country, yeah.
Okay. So how much did you raise in seed and Series A?
I think in seed, we raised about $2.5 million.
Okay.
And in Series A, we raised about $9 million. And we were able to raise from 33 angels.
33 angels?
33 angels.
Yeah. 33 people adding up to 2.5 million.
Yes. Yeah. I think we got a really good set of people like Kunal Shah and everyone, and some of them have been good friends and have been good sounding boards. And obviously this is probably the best return that they have seen. So they are also really grateful.
So I would like to know, your early investors, angel investors, what returns did they make?
They were invested anywhere between 10 to 15 million valuation, right?
Okay.
So yeah, anywhere between 100 to 300x returns.
Over what, 5 years?
Yeah, if they are still holding, then they would see even higher, right?
That's an anomaly, right? This kind of growth.
I think startup investing is anomaly. Your returns come from the anomalies.
Let's say, for example, I'm a 25-year-old person.
Yes.
Living in either Bangalore, Mumbai or Delhi.
Yes.
And I want to start my own company. I am making, let's say, 15 lakhs per annum. I have probably 20 lakhs of savings. What advice would you give me to start my own company? Should I just quit my job and start it, or should I do it side by side? Like, how would you go about it?
I would say that you should have about 2 years of savings where you can live on a low cost budget for 2 years, right?
Okay.
And you don't have like deep financial obligations towards your family, right?
Okay. And don't have loans.
That's the financial obligation part, right? Like that you don't have like the educational loans or housing loans that the family has, right? You want to ensure that your family is well taken care of. At least that's my thinking.
Correct.
Right.
But that's a challenge, right? Because most people, as soon as they get married, will get a house. Now, how will I take that risk of starting my own company when I have to pay the home loan EMIs for the next 20 years?
Yeah, so then don't buy a house. Yeah.
If you want to start a company.
If you want to start a company. I don't think house is not great from an investment perspective.
Yeah.
House is a great asset, right? Emotionally and just security wise, people do that. And I think it's absolutely good because you get a lot of mental peace, right? But it's not a great investment asset.
So have you bought a house yet?
I have.
Where?
In Bangalore.
Bangalore. Like, can you talk about the house? Like, when did you buy it? Was it recent?
So I bought 2 properties. I think one was, back in 2019, I think. And the other one was, in around 2021.
So these are like apartments or bungalows, or what is it?
Yeah, I think one is in a flat in an apartment, and the other one is there's a marketing term in real estate, villament. It's like one house which has like 2-3 villas.
One house having 2-3 villas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like that. Yes.
Okay.
So I bought that.
But tell me some lifestyle experience of yours, which cost a lot of money, which would have not done otherwise if you didn't have a lot of money.
So we have this thing that we are mostly working all the time, but in between, like me and my co-founder, we take vacations, and we usually go for high adventure vacations.
Okay.
So there was this one time where we went to Europe, to Prague and Budapest, and we did a bunch of activities there. So we rode in a tank there, we flew in a fighter jet, and we experienced 4G, 5G
in the jet.
In the jet.
You can pay for all these things.
You can, yeah. In Eastern Europe, you can.
Okay. Right? So like, how much should I pay to get into a fighter jet and experience 4G, 5G force?
I think it was $2,000 a few years ago. Now it might be like $700, $800. Yeah.
So for like $1,000, I can experience a fighter jet experience.
Yeah.
Wow. And then you also said we
went for skydiving. We went for shooting range where you can shoot all different kinds of guns that are there. You went for scuba diving, right?
Oh, those are common. Skydiving, scuba diving, everybody does.
Yeah.
Fighter jet and firing machine gun, very few people do.
Yes, and riding in a tank as well. That was also a great experience because I think they repurposed a Cold War era tank, and that tank runs at like 70-80 kilometers per hour on very rough roads, and it's a really great experience to have. So those are good memories.
So that's why that brings me to my next question, that as a entrepreneur who is running a $7.5 billion company, what is the hardest part of being you?
I think the hardest part is to remain grounded in reality and continue having the hunger, right? And continue being in the trenches. Because the thing that I don't like, and I think it's a first world problem, is that people start looking at you differently
when you have success and money.
Yes.
Can you give an example?
So if I'm meeting a founder, they would share their problems with me, right? And they would discuss in a friendly way, brainstorm. Okay. And now suddenly there is a lot of respect that they have.
Right.
And I don't know if they are really speaking with me because of admiration or because they want some sort of help, right? Or they are willing to brainstorm with me. I think the second biggest thing is the amount of responsibility that you start carrying. And I think there's a real sense of responsibility that I have to do well with the people in the company. I try not to think about it too much because you can't think about it too much because it will distract you, right? But it's a happier place to be, not easier, but happier place to be as a young startup founder, right? When you are trying to disrupt and do something crazy versus when you have a lot of weight of expectations to have a good IPO, right? Ensure that everyone is getting, earning well in the company, ensure that you keep launching great products in the market. So as an entrepreneur, right, as a successful person, you start carrying a lot of these responsibilities and these weights. And somewhere all of this pressure is why you would see that a lot of billionaires, a lot of successful people stop taking risk.
Really?
Yeah. That is why you would see Elon Musk stands out because he has taken so much risk in his life, right?
Correct.
It's because I think entrepreneurship is just a string of never-ending problems that you have to keep solving day in, day out, right? It's like walking through glass or eating glass or whatever you can say. It's extremely hard, right? But at the same time, it's extremely joyful. It's extremely satisfying. And I don't want to have it any other way.
But had the Shashank, 23-year-old Shashank, have known everything what you know today, would he have started?
I don't think so.
You wouldn't have started.
I think if you are well aware and well knowledgeable about all the pain it's gonna take, I think it's more difficult to start.
I think sometimes ignorance is bliss.
Often ignorance is bliss. The best founders are naive optimists. Is how I like to think of it. Your ignorance, but your optimism is your strength, not a demerit or not a, something that you need to shy away from. You need to embrace it, that you don't know, and it's fine. Because the thing is that most innovation comes out from corners where people don't know how things work. We were not from payments industry.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how deeply domain heavy a industry like payments is, where you have to deal with banks, regulator, compliances. You need to know ins and outs of everything, and we had zero knowledge about it.
Correct. But you still did it. You still
but we still did it because we didn't know how tough it is and what it means to run a payments company. All the existing payments company were run by people who were from banking domain or payments domain, who had all the contacts. We had zero contacts.
Yeah.
But I think that's where you need to persevere. That's where you need to be resilient.
So, Shashank, now as a person who's watching this video, I'm also thinking, okay, Shashank has done all of this. Even I want to quit my job and start my own company.
Yes.
So what are those 3 questions that I should ask myself before taking that leap of quitting my job and starting my own company?
I think the biggest thing that matters is whether you are passionate about something. Okay. Don't start a company for the sake of it, right? Figure out a problem which you are passionate about, where you have some unique insight, some unique knowledge that is not happening in the market, right? Like you are giving financial advice, for example, and today there are a lot of financial influencers, right?
Correct.
But I'm sure when you started, it was not at all common.
Correct.
And Instagram and Twitter and social media had come up as a new channel, right? So you could reach a lot of people through social media as a channel, which nobody else was doing, and people wanted financial advice,
right?
And if you have that insight, you can start that. Or you can try doing new things. You can take inspiration from your surrounding, right? What is it that you think is going to change in next 3-4 years, 5 years, which is not happening today? And it doesn't matter if someone else has started doing it or not. If it is not happening today, it's a great opportunity. We saw that everyone will accept digital payments. That's what we figured, like in 10 years, the whole of India all the businesses should be accepting digital payments. And at 2014, nobody imagined that. And the way to do that is to be very observant, either in your job. You can observe a lot in your job and learn from that. Or in your surrounding, you can just get in the habit of creating something. Like just create a product over the weekend, create a hack, create something over a period of time, and just put it out in the market. Okay. It doesn't matter if it doesn't get traction, because the experience of building something as part of your job or even outside of your job will lead you to a path of discovery.
Got it. But cool, Shashank. Thank you so much for spending almost 1.5 hours with us in our office. It's an absolute pleasure to be talking to somebody who is 1,000 steps ahead of me. Very, very inspiring to learn about your journey. And I'm sure the audience also has gained a lot from this conversation. Looking forward to, posting it out there and I'll tell you what is the reception.
Thanks a lot, Sharan. I really enjoyed our conversation.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. And I'll see you in the next one.